a candy themed Christmas tree. And so I wanted to make some large and small gumdrops to go on the tree, but you can also use them in your Christmas decorating. You can use them in wreaths, centerpieces, all kinds of different things, especially if you like the candy theme. So I'm going to show you how I make them, and I will have a couple videos on different ways that you can make them. But the first way we're going to do is we are going to be using just styrofoam eggs, and these styrofoam eggs came from Amazon. Okay, so what I like to do, so if you're thinking about a gumdrop, okay, this is very similar to a gumdrop shape, except the gumdrop is not going to have this rounded edge. So there's a couple different ways that you can take care of that. So one way is to cut off that little top and just make kind of a flat surface. The other way, which is what I did on this one, is to put pressure on it and put it on a flat surface and kind of roll it around to break that point. So either way, it's going to look really good. I do like to do it this way because it's still going to look a little rounded, but it is not going to be a point. So it's not going to look like an egg top. All right, so you just do that until you kind of break that little roundedness, okay? This is about what I want my gumdrop size to be. Now we're going to keep these and use this bottom half on a different project, but you can actually cut them a little bit smaller and use both halves. So here you can see I have both halves that I can use as gumdrops. But on these, I want to use more of a kind of traditional gumdrop size and shape. So normally what I do is I will kind of figure out how far down I want to go, and I will just start making a mark. Okay, going around. I am not too worried about being absolutely perfect because I'm going to have to kind of sand it and get it. Okay, so when you are getting these ready and you're going to be cutting them off, there are multiple ways you can cut them. You can use just a kitchen knife. There are some nice little plastic knives that you can get to cut styrofoam. These do very well, but if you have a thicker shape like we do here, these can be a little bit tough. So sometimes I'll start it with these because these work really great, and then I'll continue with kitchen knife. Now you can also use a hot knife. Okay. The difference is going to be that the hot knife is just going to slice right through it. So I will have a little example of that, but this is what I want to say. The hot knives can be expensive and they give off horrible fumes. So if you do decide you want to use the hot knife, go the hot knife route, you want to do it outside, and you really kind of want to wear some kind of mask because it does have very toxic fumes. The best way to deal with these is to have a nice big trash can handy because it is going to make a mess. But what I'm going to show you is you can make it smooth even though you're going to cut it off. So this is the styrofoam, very similar to what you get when you buy a package. It has all the little compressed little styrofoam balls in it. Okay. So I generally just use a kitchen knife. It does take a little bit longer, but a lot of times I don't feel like having to go outside and get my hot knife, get it hot, and then, have to deal with the fumes. Okay. So you can see it's pretty rough in there. And you might think, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to get that smooth, but it's very easy, okay? So just kind of get off any of the spaces that are, or the little pieces that are loose, okay? kind of brush it off into your trash. Just be aware that this is going to be a messy process, but it's so worth it. Okay, so you can see I've already sanded this one. All right, so you can see how rough this is compared to the one that I've already sanded, okay? So there's a few ways you can do this. You can use a rasp, so this is a rasp. You can use metal or plastic, and the rasp will actually take off quite a bit. So if you have an edge that is really rough and you want to get it smoother, then you're going to use the rasp, okay? Because it's going to take off much larger chunks. So you can see it'll take off whole pieces of beads. And your other option is sandpaper. So what you have to remember with the sandpaper is the higher the grit, the more smooth it's going to make it. So the lower grit is going to take a lot off. So this has a kind of lower grit, and this is a higher grit. So I'll start off with the lower grit to get it smooth. Okay, get kind of that smoothness, because I do want it to look flat on the bottom. Okay, and then I'll come back with the higher grit and polish it off. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to round off these edges, okay, because the edges should not look very sharp. It's going to look a lot better if it's not sharp. So I have an example to show you. You can see it makes a mess, but if you do it over your trash, it's really not bad. Okay. So you can see how nice and smooth that is and how nice that edge looks. Now, I did one that I didn't do any edges on. I decorated it and everything because I want you to see the difference. So you can see how this has a rough edge, right? The bottom texture is rough, the edges are rough, and it still looks cute. It still looks like a gumdrop, but it's not going to look as much like a gumdrop as this is. So you do want to spend just a little bit of time getting those edges straightened out, and I can still go back and fix this. So I just wanted to have some examples of what it looks like if you don't. So see, it's easy to go by and fix it even after it's painted. And then I can just kind of go through here and kind of fix the little bit of paint. But you definitely want it to be smooth. I do think it's a little bit easier to do it before you paint it and decorate it. But I think it's important that you see it both ways. Okay. Okay, so you can see what a difference it makes just by doing those little bit of edges. Okay. So I'll go ahead and smooth this side off. Steps in the process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one of these. Okay, this is the one where I chopped off the top, so you can see it has that nice surface. I'm going to put these on a nice little skewer stick. This really helps to get them painted. Okay, so let's pull them all out. Okay. So I have kind of different sizes, and I like that because I don't want them to all be exactly the same. Okay, so I'm just going to take some skewers and just put them in there. This helps while they're drying. It helps while I'm painting it. We will actually put the hanger for the trees or wherever we're putting it on the top. But we won't be able to do that until everything is completely dried. So we're just going to put everything up through the bottom. I'm not going to glue this on because we will take it off later. Okay. And I'm going to put them on here to dry. This one has a little bit more of a point than I want, so I'm going to smash this down one more time. I like to kind of do that before I paint it just to make sure. So I'm kind of looking while I'm going to see if there's any that need to be kind of pushed down again just to get that little, there we go. See how that takes out that point? All right, now, what we're going to do is we're going to take some paint. I want to do pinks. I've got a couple different colors of blue, purple, and yellow. So we're also going to be doing some glitter on these. Now on the other ones that I did, I put this kind of holographic glitter, okay? And it really isn't a color, it's just kind of reflects the light. It is chunkier glitter. This time I want to do at least some with a glitter that is more fine. Okay, so I love glitter. I'm sure you can tell I have a lot of glitter. But I know I want to do pink and purple. I've got this pretty purple. I have a couple different colors of the blue that I really like. Let's see, are these the same? No, these are different. So this one and this one. I think this one's a little too blue. Okay, and then I have this. This is just kind of a very, this is a smaller, sorry, this is smaller holographic. Okay, I have Snow White, and one thing I really like about this is this comes out actually white. Okay, now there's all different kinds of glitter you can get, so you can see you can get glitter that is just a little bit chunkier. And I actually have my glitter on a spice rack. I find that it works really well for doing my glitters because it's easier for me to see. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paint and some Mod Podge and I'm going to mix them together, and then we will start adding them on. So let's start with the lighter pink. Okay, and these smooth surfaces, they're going to do a lot better with the Mod Podge than, sorry, let me re-say that. This surface is really great. These smooth surfaces, they are going to take less paint and it's going to take the paint really well. Okay, so just mix it together. And then we'll start putting it on. I usually like to start on the bottom. I'm not too worried that it's not perfectly smooth because no one's going to see it from the bottom. There we go. I really like using the sponge brushes because it's easier to get in any little spots if you do have some. It also gets a little bit more paint on at one time, and it works really great with these smooth surfaces. It works really great with the other kind that is actually a little bit textured, and if you do get that kind, that's okay. You might have to put an extra coat on to make it a little bit smoother, but remember, we're putting glitter on these, so it doesn't have to be a perfect surface, although these come out really good. But you can see I don't put anything special on these except the Mod Podge and the paint. And this makes a perfect surface for the glitter. Okay, so I want to make sure I have a good coating of the color before I start the glitter. Okay, now for the glitter phase, I'm going to get out my trusty paper plate. These just work really well to catch the glitter, and then I can put it back in the container. I'm doing the bottom and everything. Okay. Oh, how pretty is this? So you can see this is extra fine glitter. I love the extra fine glitter because it covers so well. And it's so pretty. So what I'll do is I'm going to tap it, roll, tap, roll, tap, roll, tap a few times. I might even kind of pop on it a little just to make sure I got all the spots. And then I'm going to just kind of dust it one more time, especially from the top, just to make sure it has all the spots. Then I'll tap one more time. So you can see it looks really good. Okay, so we'll place this one. And this is why I like to use these plates. So I can take this and I can easily get it right back in my container. And the reason that I do that is because, of course, this can be expensive if you're using a ton of it. They're really not very expensive, but if you're using it a lot, all the time, it could get expensive. Okay. Now let's clean off my plate, just in case there's little extra pieces that I didn't get. And I can reuse it. Okay. I'm going to do the darker pink. I'm not going to worry too much about the light pink being on there. Now when I go to the other colors, I will switch to a new brush and a new plate. I wanted a darker pink, but not like a neon pink, so kind of leaving some of that lighter pink in there will help me get kind of the color I want. So let's mix it all together. There. I do want to kind of squeeze out my brush or my sponge just to make sure there's none in there, because sometimes it'll hide in there. There we go. All right, now we're going to start on the bottom, just like we did before. Okay, so for this one, I really want more of the clear or the white. I'm going to use this one. Oh, how pretty is that? So this is a chunkier one. Get some on the bottom. I like some of the chunkier ones for some projects. I don't use the chunkier ones a whole lot because I tend to like the extra fine. But sometimes these chunkier ones are just the best for the project. Okay. So one more time, just kind of a glittering from the top just to make sure we didn't miss anything. So you can see this is the chunkier and this is the fine. So definitely different looks, but both really pretty. So let's do the yellow. Okay. I want to do this one with the kind of white as well. A little bit harder to find glitters in yellow without them being very gold. Now you can find them, But I think for the yellow, this works really well. Let's see, get that little piece out. This one can kind of come out a little fast. Which is not going to hurt anything because it's not going to stick more than you need. So don't worry if it seems like it's coming out too fast. It'll just come right off. Okay, let's just make sure we got the top good. Okay. Oh, see? You can still see the color. How cute is that? Let's do this one. This one's kind of a teal color. And we're going to use this ocean spray. These are just inexpensive craft paints. This one is actually the Craft Smart from Michaels. They're really inexpensive. I use a lot of apple barrel. I'm not painting these on wood or anything like that, so, and I am using the Mod Podge, so they work great. Now the color is not really saturated on here. You can still see some of the white. So with this particular color, I'm probably going to let this dry and come back and do one more coat. And then I will do the glitter on it. So it'll be the same process with all of these. It's just going to be the different colors that I do. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other colors, and then I'll come back and I will show you how to seal them. And then we are going to put the little hangers on them. Okay, so it's been several hours and these have dried. So I want to go ahead and get them sealed, and then I can let them dry, you know, overnight. And I think it's really good to show you the process of how to seal them with just plain Mod Podge. So you can spray these, which is a lot faster. However, in order to do that, I have to go downstairs outside and spray it because you don't want that kind of fumes in your house. So I like to just go ahead and use my Mod Podge. So the trick is to just pat it dry on there, pat it on there. Okay, like this. You want a very thin coat. If you have a lot and it starts really bubbling up, then you have too much on there. It should just be a light coating, and it will seal in that glitter. And you're really not going to lose much at all, if any. Just don't put too much on your sponge. And you just want to dab it. You don't want to swipe because you could move the glitter. It's just much better if you just kind of dab it. Just do a light coating. It's going to dry clear, so don't worry too much if it has a milky, cloudy color, because it won't look like that when it dries. I do find that this actually works better than the sprays as far as keeping the glitter on. It does take a little longer. It's about the same as painting it, but it works really well. And it is the most cost-effective way to do this. You can also use a larger brush. Okay. This is going to cover more area. Just remember not to put too much. So you see how there's a pretty good amount on that right there. You don't want that much. You want to just kind of move it out. And then that will thin it out so that your glitter will still shine through. So this other method here is where you take Mod Podge and a little bit of water, put it in a little spray bottle, and you can spray it. So this is not toxic. You just want to be careful that it's a spray bottle that does more of a mist. And you want to be careful not to get too much on it. So for some of these larger glitters, this works a little better. Can make a mess. This is just a little water bottle from, I think, Walmart. You don't want to be close because you don't want it to clump. And you're going to have to be careful to keep it kind of mixed up so it doesn't clog up on you. I think it works a little better with the larger glitter, but I want you to see how it works. So you kind of have a few options. Because when you're doing these, it can get time consuming if you're having to do each one and then seal it. So this does save on some time. If you get too much in an area, just take your sponge and kind of move it around. Now this is a watered down one, so it's less likely to cause a huge problem because it is watered down. But it also can take a little bit longer to dry sometimes since it is watered down. But just make sure you don't have too much in one area. There we go. Okay. All right, so we're going to let these dry. We have all of them sealed. Okay, so the gumdrops have all dried and they came out fabulous. Look at that. Okay, so even the ones with the spray, and as you can see, I can run my finger down it, it's not going to come off. And they're still nice and shiny. So either one of those methods I show you works really great. Some of these we're going to decorate a little extra. I think I want to do this one here. I definitely want to do this one. So I'm just going to take the stick off. I'm just going to kind of twist and then pull it out. Let's do this one, and let's do this purple one. I love how this one came out with this kind of, this looks very much like a gumdrop to me. Okay. And I really like the ones that have the kind of flatter top. I really think that turns out really well. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take some puffy paint and we're going to add some sprinkles. We're only going to do this to some of them. Some I just want them to be just like they are with just gumdrops. And some I want to decorate. So I'm going to get my glue plugged in here so that it'll be ready by the time we're ready. So I want to use white puffy paint. I really like to use the white puffy paint because it's going to show up the best. And then we're going to pick out some little sprinkles to add on it. Okay. And we'll let these dry. And we're going to, while these dry, we're going to go ahead and put the hangers on the others. All right, let's see. And we have all kinds. We have larger ones. See, aren't just super cute. We have smaller ones. I really like these here that have the pastel colors. These are super cute. They have the little gingerbread people. Halloween. Okay. I like these as well. I think what I want to do though are these kind. I have them in all different colors. And I have all different kinds of little patterns. So these are little these right here are little candies. These are candies, and they also have some ice cream in them. Same for this. And I have some bigger ones. So sometimes what you can do, I'll get out some of my bigger ones because we might put a couple little of the bigger ones on the top. But you can see I have all kinds of different ones. These are super cute. These all remind me of the little candies that you put on your Christmas cookies. So I really like these that have the multicolors. So we're going to get those out. Okay. But we have red, white, and green. We have little candy canes. But what I really want to do are these pastels and then maybe some of these larger charms on the top. Okay. Not that one. Alright. I'm not going to use those. Let's pick out some larger candies to kind of put on the top. Oh my gosh, these are so cute. These are really great for so many different things. See, like you can put like this. I like that. I love these. That's cute. And then a lot of these just look like little candy pieces. See how cute these are? See, like things like this would look so cute as a little button for a snowman. These would be cute as buttons for a snowman. But there's all kinds of little pieces in here. I love to get the ones that have the variety because you just never know what cuteness you're going to get. Maybe one of those sweets. Oh, this one's cute. It's chocolate. Look at the other package. Let's see what's in that package. So what I'll do is I will take my puffy paint and I'm going to kind of start in the middle and kind of go around. It's a good thing to kind of get it down to the bottom so you don't have so many air bubbles. But this is self-leveling. So what you want to do is get it on and then start to tap it. That helps it start to level out. Okay. And then if I don't have enough coverage, I'll just kind of load it up like this and then start. Okay. That's going to make it start to drip. I like the natural drip look. If you want it to be more uniform, you can do it that way. I just like to do it this way. This looks more realistic to me, because if you do something like this, it's not going to come out perfect. It's going to come out where some are longer, some are shorter. There. Oh, that's so cute. Look at that. All right. So let's pick one of these. I like this one here. It has some really pretty colors in it. So we're just going to kind of tap some on. You can hand put these on. I don't tend to do that, because when people make these, they're not going to hand put them on. They're going to sprinkle them on. And I think they look a lot cuter if you just sprinkle them on. Okay, now let's put a few pieces up at the top. Okay, so if I want to put it in and I'm having trouble, I will get my awl and I will put a hole in it like this. And then I should be able to put this down in like that. There we go. Just makes it a little bit easier to get them in there. Okay. And it's all AUL. Let's see if I can get that down in there. Needs to be a little bit bigger. So a lot of these are clay, so they're not going to be very stiff. There we go. Some will be stiffer than others, like this one's pretty stiff. So let's put this one back in here. That looks pretty good. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? Let's put a couple of these on. Just kind of want to, let's put just a little bit of our puffy paint here. And then put that on. So it will hold it in place. Okay. Let's maybe do something over here. Like maybe this. You could also put the paint on the back of whatever you want to add. Okay, and then let's just kind of put this in here, like that. Oh, that is cute. Okay, let's do this. No, let's do a green one. Okay. Oh. Okay. Just like that. Okay, so now I'm going to let this dry. Now the puffy paint is going to take a little longer than the others. So we'll put our stick back in, and then we're going to let this dry. So we're going to put it right back on our styrofoam. Okay, and then we can get this back into its container. This one is so cute. So again, if you want this, if you want it to go one way or another, just kind of tap it on that edge that you want it to go. But you see how it starts to level out. All right, and then I will put more on the edge. Kind of load it up on the edge. And then that is where it's going to drip from. Okay. So you just want to kind of, if it's not going in a certain area, you can put a little bit more on that side and then get it to start to drip. Okay. loaded in specific areas like this. And then my drip is going to go down in that area. So I really like them to look a lot more realistic. So I tend to just tap to make my drips happen, because I want them to look like they're real drips. Okay, let's do the more pastel this time. Let me zoom in a little so you can see better. Okay. I'm just going to start to kind of tap it on. Here. If I have too much, I'll just kind of let them fall off. Okay. So I don't want too much. I still want to be able to see that it is a gumdrop. I just want it to be a decorated gumdrop. Okay, so I'll put a couple pieces here and there. Now let's put a few of our cute little things in here. So, make a hole. Okay, put that right in. There. This one in. There. Let's put one at the back here. And let's put one of these maybe in the front. There. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? Look at that. All right, let's put a couple little candy pieces on it. Okay. Whoops, that's upside down. Let's switch it around. There we go. Okay. Might be a little heavy for the side. Oh, seems okay now. Nope, definitely too heavy for the side. All right, hold on, I'm gonna put that on the top. So if it's too heavy, I'll generally just put it on the top, and then it should stay fine. In the meantime, let's put a smaller one right where we had that. So this one is a little bit thick and a little bit heavier. So to put it on the side, I would have to use some glue. I don't really want to use some glue right now, so if you're going to put them in a wreath or something like that, you can use the stick. But I want to put these in a tree, so I actually want to make a hanger. So what I have is some just clear fishing line. Generally is a little bit less expensive than any of the other stuff that's out there, but you can also use this for hanging crafts and beading. It's kind of a little bit thicker, so this is 0.8 millimeters. And what I'll do is just cut a piece off like this. I'm going to twist and kind of fold up the bottom like that, okay? Then I'm going to take my awl and I'm going to go in the middle. And I want a fairly decent size hole. I want to put a little glue in that hole. Okay, and then I'm going to insert that fishing line down in there as far as I can get it. I want to try to get it past the point where I folded it up. And there's our hanger. See how easy that is? Okay. Let's do the next one. So we'll even do that with the ones that have the stuff on the top. So I'm cutting about maybe a 10-inch piece. Okay. So I take the two ends, I match them, and then I fold them over. You know, maybe about an inch, maybe not quite that much. Put my glue in that hole. So that's why I like using this particular nozzle, because it fits in that hole perfectly. Okay. And then I'm just going to place it down in there. So if you have a Sure Bonder or certain other types of glue guns, they have nozzles that you can kind of interchange in and out, and that works really well so that you can have the right little tip for the right project. Okay, so about 10. This one would also work, but I think I want to do this one that has a little bit brighter. All right. So in the middle, start to do your little circle. I just like to do this circle because I find that it kind of levels out a little better, so it's not just skipping the center. There we go. All right, now we're going to load it on the sides. Okay. Just remember, if you want more drips, you just add a little bit more. You don't need to add a ton. Okay. Okay. There we go. I love this. It looks like a little snow mountain. There we go. All right. Now, let's get, these are cute. These are going to look perfect. So remember, if you have too many in one area, you can move them around a little, or you can just knock them off. I do like there to be a pretty decent amount, so. But if I get too many, I can just pop them off like that. There. Okay, put a couple more back. There we go. Okay. Then I can put a couple specific places. I will tell you, these will glue into this puffy paint very well. Okay, there we go. All right, now let's put some of these cute little pieces in. If you want, you can put a little bit of glue in there before you put it in. Let's put it right here. That. Look. I'll fix that. Kind of mess that up a little. So remember, this is self-leveling, so just tap it a little bit, it'll fix itself. We can actually put our little chocolate right there. Okay. Let's put one more over here. This is a great thing to have for your craft room. It's an awl. You can also use a ice pick. The ice pick does have larger holes, so just keep that in mind. There we go. don't think I'm going to use these. I'll put these here. I think I might get out maybe one of these little, kind of looks like a donut. Let's put a little donut thing over here. Okay, maybe right in there. Oh, I think I have a, okay, there we go. Oh, that's so cute. Okay, these have dried, so we're going to put the little hanger on them. Look how cute those are. These are going to look so cute on our tree. Okay, so just like we did before, I'm just going to punch a hole in the middle. Okay. There. Okay. All right, then we'll get our string out, our fishing line. Cut some pieces. There we go. Fold it in half. I'll put some glue in that hole. Make sure you put glue in the hole because that's what's going to hold it in. Okay. There we go. Okay, there's one. There. Okay. Just push it down as far as you can. And then if there's any left over, you can just trim it off. So I hope you enjoyed it. You have to tell me what you like. If you like just kind of the plain one, the glittery, or the decorated. I like all of them. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon in order to know when we're going to be uploading more videos and when we're live. Thanks for watching. Bye, y'all.